presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment Guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight. SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Hello, welcome you with us here on Business Today. I'm Aabha Bakaya, counting down to market opening for you. Let's take a look at all that we're tracking this morning and how the setups are looking. It looks like a marginal uptick in pre-open, and let's take a look at the overnight setup as well. We did see a green spot on the index, S&P 500, Nasdaq, both up about 0.5% or so. Dow Jones also in the green at least. So some amount of recovery coming in after the recent tech rout that we've seen. Just looking at any other major triggers perhaps that US markets were watching out for, but essentially I think just a little bit of value buying coming in at lower levels at this point. Overall a touch of green, and our markets as well have actually been looking like they might see a green start today after being fairly range bound. Shail is joining us as well as Gaurang Shah this morning. Good to have you both with us, gentlemen. Let's take a look at the technicals first, and Shail, what are market indicators pointing to?
Well, Aabha, good morning to you and a very warm welcome to Gaurang. What we are looking at is the fourth day of gains as far as the Nifty is concerned, and possibly an assault on 25,900 by the bulls. Remember, the Bank Nifty is already moved towards a record high, and the levels that were seen about a week ago when there was a gap up because of the Indo-US trade deal, that is now in sight. It was 61,764 on 3rd of Feb. That is something that you should see today. Strength in the entire PSU banking setup, strength in ferrous companies, which is Steel Authority and Tata Steel, as also JSW Steel, Jindal Steel and Power. So metals, PSU banks, private banks doing pretty well as far as the setup is concerned. Fourth day of gains on the Nifty and a record high on Bank Nifty is what I'm looking at, Aabha.
Gaurang, good morning. How likely do you feel we are for a record high on the Bank Nifty? What are indicators looking like to you? You're smiling away this morning, so clearly something is making you happy, Gaurang.
Whether the market is up or down, you have to be in your jubilant mood, right? So thank you so much, Aabha, for having me on the show. Good morning to you and my good friend Shail, and to all the viewers of your TV channel. A small disclosure, we may go into stock specific ideas also. So whatever, all recommendations that I'll be sharing with you on your show, Aabha, Shail, are a part of our fundamental long-term recommendations from our fundamental team. Our company Geojit or myself, we do not have any kind of personal investment, no financial interest, no conflict of interest, but we give advice to our clients on similar lines. They might hold their investment interest. So I think my sense, Aabha, is that whatever you were referring to IT, it was overreaction. None of the large cap, mid cap or small cap IT company managements have come on any press or any media or any channel and said that they are concerned about this growing scare of AI tools getting introduced. In fact, Tech Mahindra 3 days back said that it is going to be very, very productive. And over a longer period, and of course this AI summit that has been going on, I think we've heard a lot of statements from various managements that they are going to do whatever best is there in terms of their business strategy and taking the business forward. For the markets, Aabha, my sense is that we are heading towards 26,000 either today, tomorrow or maybe next week. Downside looks extremely protected despite of the sell side number from the FIs. And I think the conclusion that if I have to draw on the third quarter earnings, Aabha, since it is done and dusted and there are curtains down on third quarter earnings, whatever we saw, the good part is that there was no negativity. That's the best part that I see in third quarter earnings. And there's a lot of scope of improvement in the fourth quarter in the next financial year. I think if you missed the bus in terms of investment long term, you still have time. I concur with my good friend Shail when he spoke about Bank Nifty. And I think within the banking universe, Aabha, PSU banks are something that will outperform.
Okay, PSU banks then, that's what we're looking at. Just looking at some of the other stocks in news this morning and taking a look. We got Tata Sons in the news. They're preparing for an EGM. The board has formally approved the reappointment of N. Chandra as executive chairman for a third term next week. And that's exactly a year before his second term ends. And this actually marks an exception to the retirement policy applicable to non-executive roles after the age of 65. No real surprise coming in there, but that's the news coming in on Chandra at Tata Sons. Meanwhile, some other newsmakers, HUL has approved an investment of 2,000 crores over a period of 2 years to expand manufacturing capacity in premium categories. This one's interesting. Gaurang, I want to get your view on it. HUL has been in the news because also of the quality demerger, but now looking to go into the premium categories. That's an important strategic move coming in for HUL.
So I think first of all, slow and steadily, we are going to see a lot of companies hive off their businesses and list them as a separate entity. Quality Walls was one of them. Okay. Of course, we do not cover Quality Walls post the demerger, but on HUL we've been maintaining a positive stance. Not only on HUL, I think yesterday we saw tobacco and cigarette related companies, ITC, Godfrey Phillips, etc. doing well because of that clarity and price hike in the range of 20 to 40% depending upon the size and the length of the cigarette. So we are positive on HUL, ITC, we are positive on Tata Consumer, Godrej Consumer, Dabur, Marico, Nestle, Britannia. And whatever has happened last year, whether it is to do with zero tax on 12.75 lakhs, whether it is to do with good monsoons and a higher possibility of spend from semi-urban rural India, or whether it is to do with the much awaited reforms in GST 2.0. I think all this will translate into consumption picking up in the fourth quarter and the next financial year. And the other good part Aabha for FMCG companies is that their input costs have gone down and their profit margins have improved. So I think your metros and your tier 1, tier 2 city will support the consumption theme and the top line numbers, volumes that is. But I think the push that is going to come is going to be from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and more importantly from semi-urban and rural India for non-discretionary companies in the FMCG pack.
All right, Piyush Goyal at the Global Economic Cooperation Summit in Mumbai is said the discontentment of stock markets over IT companies is absolutely ridiculous. That's what he said. Listen into this.
Doing a deal with America is good for India, as it opens up doors for a huge market there for labor-oriented goods. It opens up doors for technology services. It opens up doors for getting the best of equipment from America to India, which will help power our IT companies. In fact, of late I'm seeing in the stock market some discontentment or disconcern about the future of the IT industry. I find it quite ridiculous, because these are the companies who will be required for artificial intelligence to flourish. I'll give you a simple example. As artificial intelligence grows, you will find people hacking into systems. So you need more and more cyber security.
Okay, I mean, I think he's saying what a lot of people have been thinking, Gaurang, that, what is going on with the way market is battering IT. Yes, AI is something that no one can escape, but a lot of IT companies have been talking about strategizing around it. And I'll take your view on that in just a moment. I'm just getting the opening bell up on the screen as well and taking a look at those sticks. We've got the index up in the green. Advances are looking good today as well. Overall, I think on the Nifty Bank, etc., a little quiet, a little flat at this point of time. But let's pull up the individual gainers and losers and see where the action's coming in from. Let's do that. Right now, 850 on the Nifty just about. ONGC is in action today. Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech, so a rebound in IT, which is probably what's leading to the green on the index. Infi, Wipro, everything back on track. TCS as well, up about 1% or so. On the downside, it's Asian Paints, IndusInd Bank, HDFC Life cooling off today after yesterday's gains. We've also got stocks like a Nestle, Tata Consumer, Adani Ports, a little quiet in trade today. So it's really about IT, isn't it, Gaurang? All back in action today. That's what's pumping up the index. What do you make of Piyush Goyal's comments and the kind of thrashing we've seen on IT stocks, particularly back home? Because in the US or on Wall Street, while the case about some of those stocks being highly overvalued, could be fair at multiple levels, some of the domestic IT corporations, do they deserve this kind of a meltdown?
Aabha, first of all, I definitely agree with what Honorable Minister Goyalji has mentioned time and again. And in fact, we were in discussion with related to IT even last week and the week before that. And we've been at Geojit Investment, we've been maintaining a positive stance. Aabha, I think we have to show a little bit of more maturity. We have to stop aping what the US does. It was purely a knee-jerk reaction without understanding it. I mean, US tech companies and Chinese tech companies with respect to AI are much ahead of what Indian IT companies are. We are at a very nascent stage. We are at the, possibly we are just climbing the first step of the ladder. And then we saw this tool called Anthropic being launched in US. You saw meltdown in US, Nasdaq melted down. So without thinking, we also aped them. And over here also, in fact, during the last 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks since the time that tool was launched, some of the IT companies were at 52-week low, whether it is large cap, mid cap or small cap. IT index was also at possibly its 52-week low. So in terms of valuation, to answer your question, valuation, keeping in mind the first, second, third quarter earnings that we've seen for this financial year, I think they have become attractive. Time horizon, with a clear time horizon of 1.5 to 2 years, I think you should definitely look at holding on to your investments in IT company, and if you've gotten at higher levels, if you have investable amount from similar time frame, you should start nibbling in small amounts. Don't go all out, but in small amounts start nibbling it because valuations are looking attractive. And one more important thing, Aabha, is that, like I mentioned, in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks since the launch of that AI tool, and in that AI summit that we've been witnessing, which is ongoing right now in Delhi, managements are sounding optimistic. And in fact, I was reading a report wherein India representative of Anthropic AI tool said that we are here to complement and coexist together. And I really don't understand this knee-jerk reaction that we showed. I think it is high time we show a little bit of maturity, understand it, and then react if it is required, Aabha. So we remain positive on, if to name a few companies, Aabha, for the benefit of your viewers in the small cap, we are positive on KPIT Tech Science Limited. In the mid cap universe, we are positive on Coforge, likes of mid to large cap names like LTI Mindtree, L&T Technologies. In the big boys, all 4 names, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, Infosys and TCS.
All right. Shell, what's the opening looking like to you? Nifty Bank is tentatively in the red, Shell, at this point of time, holding you to your words. But from the broader markets, any bright spots?
Well, yes, Aabha, you'll see a record high in Bank Nifty. There is absolutely no doubt there. It's only a matter of time. Right. But a strong rally coming into the IT space. This is again, we are also on the weekly expiry of the Sensex today. So a bit of shorts being covered there. The IT index rebounding pretty sharply. The top gainer, 1.2% higher. There's no stopping PSU banks. The Nifty PSU banking index is up 0.2%, but look at the record high on Indian Bank, 947. There is a record high on stocks like Jindal Steel and Power, 1230. Tata Steel, as I've been pointing out, the ferrous space doing pretty well. And of course, Marico from the FMCG space. Today's top traded counter on the National Stock Exchange is something that Gaurang had just pointed out. Godfrey Phillips, 6% higher, 26.25. And of course, silver Bs are also right there. So metals, PSU banks, to some extent IT, and of course the broader structure at this point of time in the early part of the trade, 1500 shares in the green, 700 in the red. So it's a nice Thursday.
Gaurang, some of the stocks that are trading at premier valuations and prices. So, for instance, let's take an Eicher, even a Godfrey Phillips. I'm not sure, what you're making of it currently. Massive pickup yesterday. Today, the stock's at, I think, 2,500 about. Eicher is at about 80.75 right now, up another % today, and consistently seeing buy calls. I know you're also positive on it. Godfrey's at 2,629 right now. If you haven't yet invested in these counters, like, how do you then approach them? Because these continue to be market favorites, but they're tottering at extremely high valuations or prices, like an Eicher, already at 8,000. When do you get in?
So, Aabha, anything good in life comes with a premium, right? And anything bad or second hand is going to go in for a discount. So, and I'm sure my good friend Shell will remember the time when Bajaj Triumph and Hero Harley launched their 400 plus cc motorcycles. It was, I think, on the same day, correct me if I'm wrong, Shell bhai, and the stock of Eicher Motor was trading at 3,300. Because of this news of these two launches, competition, stock of Eicher Motors corrected to 3,000. And it was not long back. I think it was about 2 years or 3 years back. Again, I remember it, if I remember it right, the launches that I'm talking about, these two of, and the stock is at 8,000. At that point of time, when the launches happened, Aabha, people thought that Eicher Motors Royal Enfield motorcycles sales will go down and they will never recover. And the fact of the matter is that the stock is at 8,000 rupees. At that point of time also, we maintained a positive view. Yes. Today also at 8,000 lifetime high, we are maintaining a positive view. And my sense is that the entire auto sector, Aabha, is just preparing itself for a long rally thanks to the multiple FTAs and BTAs that India has signed, whether it is to do with EU, UK, whether it is to do with any other country, and most likely in the month of March with US. I'm being told that Canada and Chile also, there are a lot of talks in the government places about a work in process for a bilateral trade or a free trade with Canada and Chile. These are, of course, unconfirmed news, Aabha. I'm not too sure how much of it is true and how much of it is false. But all this will have a positive impact on autos, specifically to the two-wheelers. And now I believe that the time has come for high-end premium motorcycles to touch the skyline in terms of sales numbers month on month.
All right. So within the, two-wheeler pack, and I think TV. Yeah. Go ahead, Shell. I was just marking that I think TVS has hit a milestone as well. I'll just pull that up. 1 million units of total production. That's in Indonesia since commencing operations almost 20 years ago. Go ahead, Shell.
Just to add to what Gaurang is saying, Eicher, for many folks who've purchased its bike repeatedly, is more an emotion rather than an investment. But Gaurang is absolutely right. He had on our show marked it repeatedly around the 3,500, 4,000 rupee range. These are, multi-baggers of yore, which have given phenomenal returns over the last 10 years or so. Let me just give you an interesting data. So in the last 10 years, Eicher is up 3x, and you have TVS Motors up 12 times. So that's the wealth creation that has happened. Not to mention the sheer joy of riding a two-wheeler and the wind whipping your face, Aabha.
What about a Hero and Bajaj? No one's talking about those this morning. Just completely sideline them from the conversation. Gaurang, where do they fall in the overall hierarchy?
Yeah, so Eicher Motors, TVS Motors, Bajaj Auto and Hero Motocorp, Aabha, all these names appear on our fundamental long-term research recommendations. And my sense is, and I hope I'm right on that, that this Earlier the demand from semi-urban rural used to be in entry-level and mid-size motorcycles. I've been traveling length and breadth of the country, Aabha, and what I have witnessed is, especially when I travel through the remote part of India, the aspirations have moved northwards. From entry-level to mid-size two-wheelers, people have started to go towards Royal Enfield motorcycles and high-end premium motorcycles. And in that high-end premium motorcycles, the demand for RE is very, 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 very high. It's like Shelby mentioned, it is a status symbol and it's a love of your life. Once a Royal Enfield rider will always be a Royal Enfield rider.
Fair enough. And I think what I'm hearing
Aabha,
this
you
morning
shouldn't have
to all our
started this.
conversation. Yeah, I know. I've touched your favorite topic. But I think what I'm hearing is that there's also a sense of premiumization. We were discussing it earlier with something like an HUL. Now we're discussing it here, even when it comes to the two-wheelers. And a lot has been sort of recently been discussed, analyzed, even within the two-wheeler makers. And, those that are choosing the premiumization strategy, how much of that is working for them going forward. Tapping into, once again, as Gaurang articulated, the aspiration and the desire to own something that seems to be top of the charts. Shell, you want to add something more?
Yes, I think we missed the GST cuts. They've been the single most critical factor for autos, both four-wheelers and two-wheelers coming back on the radar from August 15th onwards, not to mention the cut in interest rates by banks, as also the lowering of the lowering of costs by the company. So it's a combination, a good monsoon, and of course, you can't keep a 25-year-old guy away from a mobile phone and a bike. I can virtually guarantee this. So that's how life is, and that's how iShare is. As I have said, you shouldn't have started this conversation. Gaurang and I can continue on iShare for 4 hours at a row and still not bore you.
All right. Well, Gaurang, let's get your views in on something else in the market then. What else is the top of your mind? We know what's been trending maybe last couple of days. Metals a little bit coming back, banks a little bit, precious metals stabilizing. But what's been on your mind?
So, Aabha, I think metal pack is a buzz because of that reference. I would call it a reference made by, I believe, US administration on tariff-related issues from India. And that's why we saw the entire metal pack on fire yesterday. It's continuing its upside even today. But I would, honestly, Aabha, when it comes from the United States of America administration, and specifically when it comes from the President of United States of America, my view, this is my personal view, Aabha, unless and until things are signed, sealed and delivered and done and dusted, I will not believe much into it, and I will not take any kind of preemptive investment ideas forward and turning them into investments, because things can change overnight as far as US administration and President Trump is concerned. So let us wait, let us be a little bit patient. Even if you get to invest post clarification at a little bit higher level, I think it is much better rather than taking any preemptive calls. Having said that, minus this trade tariff related metal related news flow, on the fundamental side we are positive in the metals, both ferrous non-ferrous, Aabha. We are positive on Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, JSW Steel, Hindalco, Vedanta, Hindustan Zinc, Nalco and NMDC, with a very clear caveat, Aabha, that have at least 2.5 year plus kind of time horizon if you eventually decide to invest in metal packs. Optimistic about the budgetary spend on the infrastructure creation, optimistic on from the center at the state level, positive on this entire FTA that has been going around. India has been signing, will give a long awaited push to the private capex going up, and then real estate sector is also doing well. So I think domestic consumption looks quite robust.
Great. Gaurang, if you had to put all your eggs into just one basket within the metals pack, what would it be? Which counter?
Abba, I will not put all my eggs in one basket. I'm a fundamental guy, Abba. My business is to guide people and diversify. And spread your risk, Abba. So I would not put my neck on that line. I will again stick to it and diversify. There are a lot of sectors that we are optimistic about, but there is a fundamental discipline that you need to follow in stock market. So don't put, okay, if I have to list down 3 sector or 5 sectors, then banking and finance, defense, autos, cement, though we have not discussed cement, and power. Because all this data center and all that, this AI summit and data center is going to come in, etc., etc., and there's a lot of talk about it. All these data centers are going to need a lot of power, and power supply is going to go up to a great extent. So these are some 3 to 5 odd sectors. Focus on the front line, and then possibly if you have the appetite, you can look at certain mid caps also. Small and micro right now are a little bit avoid for me.
(9:31) Aabha, what we'll do is just take a detour into the market. The first 15 minutes have lapsed. The Nifty now sort of gathering strength back at around 25,800. You've seen a lot of volume coming into counters like NCC. This is a very, very big construction company, India's second largest, which is now top traded in terms of volume. You already see 3.5 times 5-day average, and this is a stock that's been beaten down substantially. You see it around 145, which was last seen in October 2023. Maybe Gaurang can comment on the fundamental strength of NCC, but India Cement doing pretty well, Godrej Industries, Craftsman Automation, Intellect Design, and Newgen Software. These are stocks which are rising sharply on strong volumes. To you, Gaurang, a view on NCC, a stock at 360 that we've seen.
So,
Aabha, continue.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, please, Gaurang, NCC.
Yeah, okay. So, Shail, fundamentally, again, our disclosure, Shail, we have a positive coverage on NCC. Stock used to trade at 200 plus at once upon a time, but then because of the political hot potato in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the company, and it's based out of APT, Shell, as we all know, has got a very strong order book, and there was a little bit of concern in terms of execution and delay. And that's the reason why you're seeing the stock at sub 150 levels. If you have a long-term time horizon, first of all, hold on to it. If you've gotten at 200 plus levels, if you have investable amount, you can possibly look at adding in a small amount at these levels. And if you want to have a fresh investment also, I think from here on the downside looks extremely protected for NCC. But have a longish time horizon.
Okay, fair point. Thanks, Gaurang, as always, such a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we look forward to meeting again in person. And here's wishing you a very good day ahead.
Thank you, Shell. Wish you all the same. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get back into the market, ladies and gentlemen. Nilesh Jain joins us on the show. Nilesh, good morning. A view that you may want to offer on Nifty Bank.
Very good morning to you, Shalin sir. Good morning, everyone. Well, as far as Nifty is concerned, this has been the 4th consecutive session where we have seen an uptick, although we are witnessing some bit of profit taking at the high level. Reason being, the Nifty is approaching towards its resistance zone that's placed at 25,900 to 26,000. So from here, the next leg of up move can only be seen if Nifty breaks 26,000 level decisively. And looking at the put call ratio for the Bank Nifty, which has gone into extremely over territory somewhere around 1.49, so that clearly indicates that we are likely to see a profit taking at the high level. But overall, having said that, any dip from here towards 25,750, 25,700 in the Nifty can be used as a buying opportunity. The major structure looks on a positive side, and the support has shifted to 25,700. So 25,700 should be the stop loss. And similarly in the Bank Nifty as well, the support has shifted to 61,000. We are still very much bullish on the Bank Nifty for 62,000 mark on the upside. So that's the immediate target for the February series we are expecting in the Bank Nifty. So overall, the undertone for the Nifty and Bank Nifty looks positive. The volatility index also cooled off to 12.15 right now. That is also giving comfort, and stocks and sector specific move is something that one can keep an eye on from intraday point of view.
Okay, wonderful. I'll also, Nileshji, want your views on State Bank of India in particular, and any other two stocks or charts that bring to your attention a move on the long or the short side, sir.
Right. First of all, State Bank of India, it is trading in the uncharted territory at all-time high. The structure, no doubt, looks positive, but not advisable to chase the momentum at the high level because we may see some bit of retracement on the back of profit taking. So it's an avoid at current level. But position target of 1270, 1300 is still very much intact. The ideal buying range, either entry could be somewhere around 1180 to 1200. So that can be a good entry point. Now coming to the stock-specific move. On the long side, we are keeping an eye on, first of all, JSW Energy. The structure for JSW Energy looks strong. We have seen a high top and high bottom formation in this particular counter. And also on derivative front, if you see it, the counter has witnessed a good build up on the long side as well. So overall, JSW Energy looks positive for 505 to 510 kind of target on the upside. One can keep a stop loss at 481 and go long in JSW Energy. Apart from that, another stock that's again from the banking space, RBL Bank. So very interesting setup. The counter has given a multi-month breakout today, and it has extended its up move for the 7 straight sessions now. So the major structure looks positive and can be added, can be accumulated for a positional target of 360 to 400. But yes, from a very short-term perspective, momentum can be seen towards 345. So that's the immediate target. One can keep a stop loss at 323. And go long in RBL Bank.
Okay. Another view, Nileshji, if you can offer on HAL at this point of time. The stock has been beaten down substantially, although in the last couple of days you've seen it rebound from 4,080 to 4,200 now. What would be the medium-term outlook on Hindustan Aeronautics?
Well, if you see Hindustan Aeronautic as well as across all defense space where we have seen a sharp decline in the recent time, but in last few trading sessions we have seen a pullback move, and this pullback move should be treated merely as a pullback move only because the major structure is still on a negative side. If you see on a weekly time frame, the HAL is constantly trading in a falling channel. So as of now, the pullback may extend towards 4,300 to 4,400, but use this pullback to exit from the long position, import it from a short-term perspective, and fresh entry perspective, it's an avoid. Avoid till it break above 4,300 decisively. If it breaks 4,300, then there will be possibility of a further upside towards 4,500 to 4,600.
Okay. Thank you, Nileshji, for your time. And we hope to welcome you again fairly shortly.
Thank you, sir.
Wrap up on the morning show today. Markets in pretty good shape. The Nifty and the Sensex flat on the weekly expiry of the Sensex, but a lot of activity on the ferrous metal space. Tata Steel, Steel Authority, JSW Steel, and Jindal Steel and Power near fresh record highs. And of course, the PSU banking setup in top form. Continue watching Business Television. There's a lot of interesting things happening in the AI Summit at Delhi. Today is a big, big, big day.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight. Well said, well said, well said. SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
M.R. Rangaswamy, founder, India Spora, Jonathan Siddharth, founder and CEO, Turing, Anisha Chopra, Chief